Alright, it's the end of March. That means it's time for another monthly update for Himeko Sutori. This month we added a lot of minor features and we made a lot of tweaks and adjustments, and it feels like now we're putting the final polish on Himeko Sutori. Right now we're looking at the start menu for Himeko Sutori. This is where you can change campaigns, and we have a very simple system in place for adding your own campaigns. We also have an options menu, and we finally got around to putting in an option here for turning on and off the Sobel edge detection. It's a post-processing filter that draws kind of a cartoony outline around everything. We've asked a lot of people how they feel about it, and a lot of people feel very strongly one way or another, and so now we're just going to give you the option to turn it on or off. Sorry about the background noise, my headphones broke and I'm recording the audio now on my webcam. So here we are in the test level again. We're going to add a few people to our party, and then we're going to go see a few of the new things that we've added this month. We have new old portraits. By that I mean we have new portraits for old people. We have a layer for wrinkles, and we also have new hairstyles for balding and for beards. You can see here we've added a lot of new items. These items are mostly here for crafting, and unfortunately we don't have the crafting entirely finished. I really wanted to finish that up this month to show it to you, but it's unfortunately just not going to happen within the next 24 hours. So consider this a preview into crafting in Himeko Sutori. For now, we're just going to walk over here and touch the trigger that loads the world map, and I'm sorry, I'm going to cheat here a little bit because it takes a few seconds to load the world map, and I'm just going to cut straight to it so we don't waste time. Okay, here's the same world map that you've seen before, but there are some subtle changes that I'm going to point out here. The first thing is the edge detection filter that is drawing an outline around everything. I thought there just had to be something stylistically to try to tie together the very cartoony, flat characters with the more detailed 3D world, and I thought that having the cartoon outlines would kind of help with that. Before, the cartoon outline was very thick and solid and black, and it really didn't look very good. But now it's a lot thinner, it's a lot more subtle, it's colored to match the lighting, and I think it's a big improvement. I think it helps bring the scene together. Next, we have some transparent water, and also something that I really want to point out, but we're kind of past the point where you could see it best, is the cell shading. There's a stark contrast between the lit side and the shadowed side of three-dimensional objects. You can see it really well on the trees. Let me pull up an example here, and I'll put it over the video. I think that helps unify the look of the game. It takes the detailed three-dimensional objects and makes them more cartoony to match with the characters. Going into this battle, I didn't have any lances already made, so I'm going to go into the lance menu and make some new lances, organize our army into lances before sending them into battle. And you can see here that we have new informational pop-ups that kind of help take some of the guesswork out of making your lances. Some of our playtesters have mentioned that it was really hard to figure out how many people you can put into a lance, and it was very confusing, and sometimes some characters could have more people in a lance than others, and so we put all of the information that you need to know right here. You remember last month we had some trouble with the sound mix. I thought that might be because I had set the sound to work at a higher priority than the rest of the game so that there were never any interruptions in the sound, but I thought that was getting the sound ahead of the timer for mixing the next song in, and so I tried setting the music at the same priority as the rest of the game, and unfortunately that's leading to the music cutting off in the middle when the computer gets really busy doing other parts of the game, and so I'm going to have to go and set that back to make the music a higher priority, and unfortunately I'm just going to have to figure out the sound mix some other way. Yeah, and it really didn't work out because, as you can hear right now, the timing of the music mix is off anyway. Something else that we added new this month is that all of the attacks have sound effects. The swing has a sound effect, and the actual hit has a sound effect. Right now, the sound effects are all very generic. I haven't actually gone in and replaced all of the default sound effects, but all of the different attacks will have different sounds. So you already know how the battles play out. We're just going to use a cheat code to win the battle, and after we win the battle, you're going to see that we get some random loot. All of the different characters in the different armies have their own loot tables, and so if you are ever running low on corrosive slime, then you know that you need to go attack some slime armies to refill your stock of that. Why are you going to need it? Well, you're going to have crafting, of course, which we're going to show off more of next month. Now we're going to show you the level up mechanic. We're going to go over here and we're going to use a cheat code to give her some experience points, and we will level her up a few times, and then we'll show you how the level ups work. I'm typing this in a few times just because I really like that animation for making the experience points appear, and I like the level up animation. I just wanted to see it a few times and show that off. So now we're going to look at her character sheet, and you can see a little dancing star there showing that she has some level ups waiting. Also, if we were to check out the entire army in the main pause menu, then you would still see the dancing star over her character sheet. When your characters level up, they get a few predetermined bonuses to their stats, but then to customize your characters, you get to go in here, and every level up you get to draw 3 cards from the level up pile. And each character class has its own set of cards, and so this lets you determine how you want this character to develop. This particular character is a rogue, and we get to determine if we want her to have the skills that are going to make her a better rogue, or do we want the skills that are going to make her better at her other classes, or do we want to do something different entirely and try to max out her leadership, or there are some cards in some classes that will give you additional crafting skills or leadership bonuses to certain character classes or creature types, and you get to determine all of that when you level up. Now, that might have gone by a little too quickly for you to see exactly what happened, but when she leveled up, she became more powerful, which means that it took more leadership points to keep her in her lance, and her lance captain didn't have enough leadership points to keep her in the lance, so we removed her automatically from the lance. And here we are back on the world map, and something else that I would like to point out that I don't think I did before is that we reduced the saturation on some of these characters, especially those slimes. The colors were really bright, and so I wanted to just bring that down a little bit. And now we're going to move back here into the forest where you get a better look at the cell shading on those trees, this time from the other direction. In the morning, the lighting comes from the other way, and now the sun is setting, and that's about it for this month. So to sum up, Development March 2017, we had the main menu where you can change the campaign, we have options, we have new portraits, we have level up cards, attack sounds, we've got random loot, we improved the color and the overall look of the game, and we started working on crafting. And development is still going along, and I hope to have something playable for you soon, and the game is a whole lot more polished, it's closer to finished, and we are getting very, very close. Thank you very much for watching, and we will see you next month.